Okay. Testing, testing. Here we go. Um, okay, so this is a Minecraft server that was started back in 2011. The rules were you could only build things in survival. Um, you were allowed to exploit bugs, uh, but we're not allowed to build anything in creative. There was some observation done in creative, but never built anything that way. Anyways, we're gonna do a flyover of some of this build. Try to make it quick because I don't know if anyone really cares or not. My nephew said people do, so here I am making a little places to sleep, block out monsters, and grow some food. That was it. Then these were put up later. The Enterprise here, um, and then whatever that is. But I believe you can go inside of these things, but I'm not doing that right now. Got bored with all that pretty quickly and started to build the city of Chicago. Now it's not in perfect order. It's too hard to do that in survival mode. The excavation alone was probably as hard as building some of these structures. But that's the Field Museum from Chicago. We posted a picture of this to their website and they actually tweeted it out, which was pretty cool. Kind of an honor. They thought it looked enough like the Field Museum to throw it out there. Now here in Chicago, again, everything done in survival mode has a purpose. This little boardwalk alone, like you can see, this is used for horses. This is floor after floor of horses, different colors and different breeds and speeds and characteristics, and I believe there's a little test track out here, yeah, for the horses. Back to the boardwalk here. This was used for trees. I don't think it's used anymore because it's just not necessary because everything is birch now. The Apple Store, of course, which I believe is all redstone thingies. We won't deal with that right now. There's an old style McDonald's over there. Here you have the Hancock Tower, which should be at least familiar to most Chicagoans, or it used to be functional. This is the Hancock Tower. I think it's 40 by 45 by 45. Very big. Goes up, I think, near to the top of the old top of the game, 256. But you can see these monsters are falling to their death here, and their goodies get collected there, and then they basically go through a loop and cycle down to a collection area. I'm wondering though if it's stuck. We'll deal with that later. But it comes into here and gets collected in all these drops, and this basically is our TNT manufacturer. And the reason that's important to us is that it clears all the ground. We use explosives to flatten areas to work. A monument for all the fallen miners, because we died a lot making this city happen. These little beacon things, I forget what they're called. Maybe it's beacon, but we got, I think, 2 or 3 of these in the city to help speed up your guys. This is the Creeperhead Park. Started out as just a normal park, and then they did it in bright colors, and then they did it in glass, and then built buildings straight down the eye sockets and everything. There's stuff hidden everywhere in this world. Train station here. It's pretty ornate. Again, for survival, and you get a lot of these ugly torch lights here because the only economic way in survival to keep the mobs from spawning all over your hard work. There is an underground subway network that goes around the whole city. The mines are networked into these tracks too. That's how we get all the materials into this into the city. And we'll head in that direction. So this is the train station. That building was never purposed, I don't think. Yeah, it was mostly. I don't think anyone even lives in it. This one is the depot. So the railroad tracks and the subways and the underground trains to the two major mines that we have run into here, where there's various collection points and people would organize stacks and stacks of bulk building materials here. So glass and all the basic build and wood and dirt and all that stuff's down here. You come up to the second floor, you get some more of the rare elements like diamonds and yeah, you can see what I'm talking about. Gold, iron, some nether stuff. And then there's a new mine that's not done being built that will be sending all of its material in a track that goes up the side of the depot, a couple floors up from here. But yeah, so that's the depot in a nutshell. There's actually quite a bit more sophisticated things in there. This building is the bug building. Our Donnelly is the actual structure name. It's another real building from the city of Chicago. But I think it's mostly empty right now. We call it the bug building because this is where we would build redstone machines that would exploit bugs, because that was allowed on the server. An example of one is this tree harvester. I don't even think it works anymore. I think it's something that's been patched. But every time they'd patch something, we'd just tear the machines down and clear the space. Anyways, it's kind of like the engineering building. I don't know what you call it. Bug building. That is a residential building over there. That's the Aeon Tower. It's one of the taller structures, and you can see there's about 40 floors in this structure. I think there's 8 or so people that reside in here with all their stuff. I live at the top of this one. I think there's close, I counted, or did some raw math on this one. There's close to 30,000 blocks just in this building, just in the structure. Coming down, this one's a little more ornate. I always like to look at this one. This is, I think, 2 Prudential from Chicago. It's just a nice looking building. And this is basically, we're filling it up with villagers. We railroaded in from various villages. And they love their doors. And they actually multiply, or they used to multiply. I don't know if they do it anymore. And they would add doors. And they'd actually generate their own iron golems at a certain point. But anyways, yeah, that's the villager building. That is the food building. I think it's modeled after the IBM building in Chicago. Some of these references are probably outdated. This is an auto farm. It flushes carrots off of the ground down a tube where they get collected. I guess it's manually collected, fed to pigs, and then the pigs are crushed, and I'll do a whole video on that. But it's an auto farm that turns carrots into cooked pork at the bottom of the building with very, very little work. So we got double box after double box of pork and beef. There's another one of those beacon things. The corn cobs from Chicago, of course, the corn cobs. And I forget the name of this building, but I like it in real life and this one. I built it. I don't think it has a purpose yet, though. Neither do the corn cobs. But you can see the up house there. A funny story behind that. But the Chicago Lighthouse also done to some cool detail in there. Just just trying to do a flyover, I guess. This is a tube that leads into the city from the mine. So you'd see back in the day a lot of mine carts flowing this way from people mining, and then there'd be folks collecting what they're mining in the depot over there and organizing where the materials go. Basically giving us huge stacks of materials to use for all these crazy projects. Take a quick gander at the Sears Tower. Lots of people have done this building. I think this one actually looks really good, even though the materials are dated, because this is an old building for us. The proportions look good. It just turned out really well. It is huge. I think it's 50 by 50 or something like that. I'll just give you an idea of the size of this guy. Again, all survival mode. Lots of people died lots of times falling off of this. And it's funny because when you build these skyscrapers in survival mode, you'll find little random chests everywhere because you know you're gonna die 100 times, so you put all your good stuff away. Yeah, the Sears has a bunch of office space, and it has a pretty cool water elevator up the middle of it. But it's pretty ornate, leading up to the top there. Obviously that's not accurate, but we thought it looked nice. Here's some buildings that are not modern. They're sort of old school, turn of the century. We wanted to do some more challenging designs. I think one of these is the jeweler's building. The other one is the old insurance building or something. I don't know what that's called, but it looks nice, I think. These turned out, I thought, really well. Again, all survival mode. All the stuff was carried from the Nether to the mines. There's this giant millennial tower. I don't think they ever actually built this, and this was sort of based on a concept, so it's not perfect or accurate, but it is huge. I mean, this is even, I think, taller than the Sears. And the square footage wise, I have to calculate that someday. But you can see some attempted aircraft here too. People would jump block up to these points to build airplanes and helicopters and the fire station is kind of neat. I think it's based on something from New York though. Maybe we shouldn't call this Chicago anything. There's so many non-Chicago things. Yeah, fire truck in there. Pretty cool. Sleeping quarters. My buddy Stavos put all that together. But yeah, there's as much underground as there is above ground, but I'm not going to get into all that now because I'm already sick of my own voice. Maybe something, yeah, they just elevated an expressway. There's some new projects, some things you can see. This is excavated for another building for some reason I built Downton Abbey. I think it was for my wife. So that's High Clear Castle. I can do, maybe if anyone's interested, I can do a video on that. It's pretty detailed and I think accurate. Let's see. Let's take a quick look at the Nether network, because not everybody knows how to utilize that for big projects like this. It might be useful for some folks to see. Let me head over there. Alright. Again, this is from 2011 and on. I'm actually, I don't think I physically could build a lot of this now. I actually disabled now myself, so I can do some things in here, but not like I used to. There we go. Oh yeah, so the Nether network. I don't know why this happened. Anybody know why this is the way it is? Anyways, it still works. Here we have this sort of enclosed, gas-proof, piggy-proof thing. Sometimes I find pigs in here anyways, but anyways, for every block you travel here is 8 blocks up in the above world. So this goes to that tall Aeon tower where I live and spawns you up at the top. And this, well, to provide some proof of work, this is the mine. This is probably the mine where most of the city came from. You get some idea of these crosscuts. These crosscuts are between y coordinate 5 and 16 because, at least in the old days, that's where you found all the diamonds. And we need a lot for all the tools that we made to build that city. These crosscuts are 1 by 4, 1 by 5 or 6, and they usually go about 1,500 to 2,000 blocks all the way down before someone gave up on that specific crosscut. Yeah. Anyways, there's lots and lots of those. They go on a long, long ways. And this just goes on and on. There's lots of this. And there's multiple floors of it too, because we didn't just go for the diamonds. This is largely abandoned now because it's all old chunks, you know. It's none of the new ores are in here. This is all old stuff. So we have a new mine that's 2,000 blocks north of the city that is now shipping the new materials into the depot. So you can see this is all old stuff. In the mine here, you can see where people used to bed down in these buildings built into the side of the rock. So people would have quarters and they'd stay here and they'd keep things here. I spent a lot of time down here many years ago. But that's where it all came from. It took a lot of gold-powered track to make minecarts do anything when they first came out. So yeah, it was a pain. And then I don't know, there's so much. I'll go to the end real quick because that's over here, which is also part of that Nether network. I think there's a train that goes here too. Oh yeah, there it is. The end is worth seeing because there's probably the most important machine in the whole game is down here, or the whole server. Thanks to my buddy Fushards. There we go. To the end. Now, I don't know why he did this. They did kill the dragon eventually, but not at first. But I think maybe it's because he didn't want to deal with the dragon. He just basically built this bridge a safe distance from where the dragon was so that he could get the benefits of spawning Endermen. See him spawning on these platforms and getting shoved by pistons. So as soon as they come to life, they get shoved by a piston. They fall down here, and the reason this is surrounded with water is that they are not allowed to spawn on water. So it keeps the monsters from haunting the collection area. I'm sure it's and you notice they're not dying. Most of them are dying. They're all getting collected there. Now, that is so that you can get XP points. So they're not dead, but one punch, even without a sword, kills them. Anyways, you can fix your stuff on the anvils or tech up new stuff here in the library. It's just been infinitely useful to give us the best tools and armor to do the things that we do in that Chicago world. Alright. I don't know what this is. Oh, interesting. No idea what that is. Maybe somebody can tell me what that is. We don't play the game as much as we do as we build. We just build all the time. Again, all survival mode. And wow, this is a glimpse of the new mine. Now that the mines or the chunks generate down to -64, I ran into one trying to create a new mine and decided to utilize it. One, because it's cool. Two, because it gave us access to more deep slate and ores and stuff. So you can see that there's powered track here already. So that's where miners are going to sleep. So this is cavern A. We head through this into cavern B. You can see this huge gorge down here. Crosscuts that are started in the new mine. Notice these ones are 4 blocks apart instead of 2, just efficiency wise, because typically when you find diamonds off to the side they dig in and you're just revealing as much stone with removing as little as possible. So yeah, I worked out over the years that that's probably a better way to find the diamonds, but that goes on. This is much cleaner than the old mine, you can see. And look at all these new crosscuts and all the new ores are here. More crosscuts and things like copper that we didn't have before. It just goes on and on. Yeah. This is all wired up to the depot already, but there's going to be a I think it's a 6th or 7th floor entry where the trains will go up the side of the building into where the new ore is going to go. This is unfinished, I think, but it's still cool. I mean, look at the landscapes they generate now. This is all secure. This pretty elaborate stuff. I really like these negative Y things, except for the fact that they seem to beat the heck out of the computer I/O wise. they have to write so much more data to make these bigger chunks that I can really see when the server's creating new chunks now. But yeah, this is all unfinished. Anyways, lots more to see. If anybody's interested, maybe you can just leave a message and I'll post more. If not, hopefully this satisfied my nephew. I guess it wasn't just him. Some of the ops and people that helped build this asked for me to do this too. Um, but thank you all you guys that helped make the city and all the infrastructure and all the work and the fun that we had over the years on this. Hopefully it keeps going. Every time there's a new major release, I keep thinking that we're gonna hit a bug that I can't fix, and that we'll be dead in water with this server. But we're going on what 11 years now of this server being up. I guess up and down. Uh, thanks to Pushards and Sequex Domini and Mike D and I guess Ernest and who else was a major contributor. I'm gonna leave people out and make everyone angry. Just oh, Stavros. How can I forget Stavros? You're amazing. The detail work that you do. Who else? Is anybody else? I don't think so. Anyways, thanks everybody, and thanks for any time or attention you paid to this.